Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We were the pre-race favourites, and you lived up to the role with brio. Well done for this win. We lost the yellow jersey. It's today's source of disappointment.
Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Tour de France 2020 playthrough with Team Ineos. Today, it is time for stage number 16, but before we get into it, as always, let's have a quick look back at the events of stage number 15, which was an absolutely fantastic stage for us in the hunt for the yellow jersey. Now, if you didn't watch yesterday's episode, unfortunately, I think Kwiatkowski is now out of that race. He had a fantastic stage 13 where he took the lead of the general classification. I mean, just look at that. Led his rivals by a massive amount, but he really struggled in stage number 15, and our two best climbers, Egan Bernal and Geraint Thomas, definitely came to the fore. We managed to beat Roglic and Fuglsang. Basically, they were just too tired. We pushed and attacked. We knew we got a little bit of feed left with a few miles to go, and that was what won the race for us. Now, we attacked with Geraint Thomas. We got Bernal to follow us. Thomas blew up before the line, but everybody else was knackered as well. So Bernal took the stage off Thomas. It was the perfect finish to the stage, and Geraint Thomas now moves up to second in the general classification. Three riders in the top 8, though, a massive, massive boost to us. Chris Froome also took some climbing points. Bernal took some points as well. Again, took 1 point, but in the battle for the climber classification, Kwiatkowski is still way clear. Points classification, we took 3 out of the top 4 spots. Not really a crucial stage for points. And in other classifications, we did pretty well as well. But that leaves the classifications looking like this. Roglic has taken the yellow jersey. Fuglsang has stayed exactly where he is in 3rd place. But Kwiatkowski, as you can see, has moved down 3 places into 4th. I think he might still be able to keep that 4th place. It's a long way back to Evenepoel and Pinot. I think he's pretty much certain to finish at least 6th. But Geraint Thomas is really in the race now for this yellow jersey. Fuglsang and Roglic were the two that were battling for that yellow jersey at one point. But Fuglsang has just dropped too far back, really, probably, unless he has a fantastic stage here. But if we beat Roglic like we did in the last stage, we've got a real chance of taking that yellow jersey of Geraint for the first time. Kwiatkowski kept his lead in the best climber classification. Roglic and Fuglsang have moved up, no surprise there. Thomas and Bernal have as well. Of course, there was big points classification. There's a bloody fly in the room, that's doing my head in. There was big best climber classification points in this stage for the the free climbs even that took place before the end of the stage. That bloody, it's a wasp, it's not a fly. Come on, out, lovely, it's out. Right, points classification then. Kwiatkowski kept himself in 2nd place. You have to say it's really a 2-horse race now between Peter Sagan and Mikhail Kwiatkowski. But we're not really going to focus on that classification. The best climber classification is where we're going to look and focus our efforts with Mikhail Kwiatkowski. In the Young Riders classification, Bernal sits in 2nd. Team classification, we lead by nearly an hour back to the next team. And in the compatibility classification, Kwiatkowski also leads that. So we won the stage, a big boost, a lot of recovery bonuses because our guys did particularly well. But today, it is time for stage number 16, another very tough stage.
It'll be a very demanding day for everyone. Several mountain passes and a summit finish await you. This is a key stage for the general classification. You will have to be there on the final climb if we are to do well. I'm not too worried. I think we're able to win the stage, outdistancing the other favourites. Have a good day, guys. Come on, we're aiming for victory.
Hello, cycling fans everywhere. Today's profile creates an interesting strategic dilemma for both the favourites as well as those seeking stage victory. Is it best to wait for the final 3 kilometres and then give it your all to gain a few seconds? Or should an attack be launched further out on the Montée de Saint-Nizier de Moucherotte, setting off a reaction in which everything could be lost?
Here we are then, stage number 16. And I've got a plan today. Something a little bit unorthodox, but I think it might work. Now, this stage isn't as demanding as the last one, in my opinion, because we've got a feed right after that first class climb. The 3rd class climb won't be too much of a struggle, neither will the sprints, but that first class climb that'll be the real struggle. So we can consume all of our feed going up that climb. And obviously we get a new feed. That second class climb should be okay. We get a bit of a reprieve. We're probably going to have to consume a lot of our feed in that first class climb. But that third class climb shouldn't be too bad. But we're going to be bold here. It might be a mistake, but we are going to launch an early attack with our favourites. As you can see, we're on board with Grant Thomas. We're going to get Bernal to follow attacks. And we're also going to get Kwiatkowski in there as well. Let's see how this goes. Again, we can always come back to the peloton if it doesn't work, but I think this is an interesting strategy. It will worry Roglic and Fuglsang.
Okay, I'll follow any attack.
So Grant's off. Kwiatkowski is gone. We'll just tell him to quite literally attack, so I don't think Bernal's got the message yet. Is this going to work? We will find out. Kwiatkowski's come. I don't know about Bernal. But Kwiatkowski's come. Is this going to work? Again, it'll certainly rock things. We've got Kwiatkowski coming up to us. Same as Bernal. The peloton 46 seconds behind. We'll see if this makes any sort of difference. So Kwiatkowski catches up to us. We're going to get on Bernal as well. See if he can catch up. He's not got much energy left, but we should be okay. But if this doesn't work, you know, we haven't really lost much. Okay, we've got no red energy left. We don't want to consume any of our feed. That would be a waste. But I'm sure we should be able to catch up to these few. Again, Grant Thomas, Kwiatkowski. I mean, there's quite a big break behind. Oh, I thought there was a big break behind. No, there's not. Okay. Well, the peloton is fairly close to us. Bernal might well have to go back into the peloton. I can't see him catching up. Don't need to blow up at this stage. No, I can't really see him catching up, to be honest. But Kwiatkowski and Thomas are out. Good that there's not a big breakaway. Nobody else that really troubles the general classification. So, no reaction from anybody else. But still, this could be a good opportunity. We'll have to see how it goes. Rightio then. So, the first climb of the day. Third class climb. Valverde's just gone for it. Well, he might struggle when it comes to the top. But I don't think there's anybody in this break that's really going to trouble the climber classification. Yes, there's a few. I mean, Grant and Bernal are probably the only two that can really trouble things. Oh, wow. The peloton's caught back up to us. Well, that's a bit of an unexpected surprise. That's a real surprise. Goodness me. Well, there's only 2 points available up the top of this climb. As you can visibly see, that hasn't really worked, to be brutally honest. We'll get Dennis to protect Grant Thomas. And Castro Viejo can protect. We'll go with Kwiatkowski. But no, that hasn't worked at all. I didn't expect the peloton to be so close behind. I mean, there's about a 45-second gap, sure, but I didn't expect us to be caught that quickly. Wow, wow, wow. Well, Valverde is going to take the point, so I was wrong that he would suffer at the top of the climb. But he will take 2 points. Yates will take 1 point. Again, they're not really any trouble for this climbing classification, so no need to worry about them. But yeah, we'll have to see what comes afterwards. We've got that sprint coming up afterwards, and again, we're not really bothered about that. And seeing as we're not in the breakaway now, and we've made decisions to stay in the peloton, it's just really going to be about controlling the stage and hopefully making a break at the end, as our sports director said early on, for Bernal, Thomas and Kwiatkowski to beat Roglic, Fuglsang and the other guys around them. So Valverde takes 2 points and Yates takes a single point over the climb. Good to see that our guys are at the top of this group. We've got Bernal, Castro Viejo and Kwiatkowski. And yeah, we'll just have to see how we get on. I mean, I don't really think there's... Well, I'll show you the results of the sprint. But the big interesting bit will be that first climb. First class climb. Well, there's a few more guys that have broken away at the front. So no chance for any of the peloton to get any points here. Sagan's the only guy we're really worried about, and I don't think he's in that escape. There's a few guys that are starting to escape, but again, that's not our concern. Nobody who's really challenging in the general classification. As you can see, none of the big guns are, or else we would react to that. But interesting that there's a few little breakaways starting. Again, our breakaway at the start didn't work. So it'll be a different complexion this stage, well, definitely. But we've got the first class climb, pardon me, coming up shortly. So that's why the sprinters couldn't really take too much of an aggressive approach. But this first class climb will be very important. But remember, we can consume all of our feed going up there. Well, it's a tough climb, this. Really is. But we can use all of our blue and red gel. That's exactly what we're going to tell everyone to do now. Red gel, red gel, red gel, red gel. Red gel, followed by blue, but for Kwiatkowski, because his blue energy is so low, it'd be sensible to go for the blue gel right away. Now, the peloton is really got spread out here because there's a lot of guys who just can't take on this climb. As you can see. But Kwiatkowski, he's doing okay at the moment. Again, no points to fight for here. It's a big climb, this. But again, nobody really challenges that classification, so I'm not worried. I mean, there is 1 point available for the peloton here, so we could well go for it with Kwiatkowski, but tell them to all have their blue gel as well. Garant has started to fall back a little. That's a bit of a concern. Didn't notice that earlier. Castro Vieja was falling back massively. No real surprise. It's a bit of a liability. Yeah, a bit concerned. I didn't realise that Garant had started to fall back. I wish that the team director had told me about that one. Well, we're not really worried about 1 point with Kwiatkowski. That's not really our concern at this point. But to be fair, if you look, the peloton's just up ahead, so that's absolutely fine. We just need to make sure, though, we'll get Dennis to protect Geraint Thomas. We need somebody to protect these guys. And Chris Froome can protect Kwiatkowski. But 1 point available, so we might as well, again, go for it with Mikkel. 3 kilometres to go to the top. We might have consumed our blue feed a little bit earlier on than we should have done, perhaps. So we're not going to go for this. There's no real point burning ourselves out to get to the top before anybody else. Just the 2 points available actually now in the peloton. I think a lot of guys will blow up before the top here. That might include ourselves. Apparently we want to ride in Landers. Well, Froome's starting to lose touch. Well, I don't think he is. He's alright. I think he's just fine. A lot of guys will blow up, as we've said before, on this climb. We can see Geraint Thomas is falling a little while back, but that's just because the peloton's really spread out. As you can see, that group has started to pull away a little bit with the yellow jersey in it. So we'll just set a decent tempo to make sure they don't go away. 4 points now available in this peloton. Is there anybody who's in really good condition that can potentially pinch some? Bernal's in pretty decent nick. We'll go with Bernal then. Just to see if we can pinch some points. Don't need to Gents in this group, but it's all worth it if we can go for this. Get some points with Bernal. He's got some good energy. So, we'll go for about... yeah, okay, we'll go now. There's some guys really starting to struggle. So we could take some points off them as well. As you can see, this should be 8 points for Egan Bernal. He might blow up before the top, so got to be careful of that. That's great stuff from Egan Bernal. 8 points, and he's pulled away a little bit. Good stuff. So, Kwiatkowski, right, let's focus on him coming back down here. 2 points available for that peloton. We'll just tell Dennis to persist without limits. Chris Froome should be okay. We'll just get Kwiatkowski up with that group now as well. Not too worried about this climb. There's not really any points to get. Who's got the 2 and 1 points over the climb? Porter and Nibali, so no points for De Gent, who's just in front, so no issue there, really. Ah, right, okay, Kwiatkowski's in that peloton group. But we'll just try and get some energy back, coming back down this climb. It's important that all our big guns are there at the end today. Really is. So things are starting to split up a little bit now. Just consuming the last of that feed with Geraint Thomas. We had a little bit left in the kitty. Just going to set a high pace now with Geraint Thomas. It seems the peloton is setting a high pace. Bernal, as you can see, is broken away a little bit. So I'm going to try and join that group with Geraint Thomas if we can. Because they're nearly a minute away. So that'll be a good lead to have on Roglic and Villard-De-Lans. And we've got the energy to do it. I was going to do it coming down the climb, but we didn't really have enough time once we've got everybody's energy back. So we either set a high pace and try and catch up to Bernal with the peloton, or we just go alone. I think that's exactly what we're going to do here. I can't see us really having the energy to get all the way up to Bernal. I think we might struggle here. Yeah, the peloton's going to catch up, I think. But at least it's setting a high tempo in the peloton. It's all looking good at the moment, to be honest. It's all looking okay. As you can see, we've got Villard-De-Lans and Roglic are still in that group. But a lot of guys losing a lot of ground. As you can see, we're not even really halfway through yet. Valverde and Uran have got the lead at the moment. But the peloton will catch back up to Geraint Thomas. So I'll see you guys for the next climb. So this is a second class climb. Just need to make sure we can keep our guys all okay coming up here. There's 6 of us in the peloton. Bernal, we decided to bring him back towards the peloton, which I think is a good move. We don't really need to attack here. There's only 2 points on, and at the end of the day, the general classification is far more important than getting any points here. I think Kwiatkowski has wrapped up the best climber classification, if we've said before anyway. But just checking as we come to the top of this climb that everybody's okay. There's a few on low energy, Froome, Kwiatkowski, but there are 2 big climbs coming up later, so we don't really want to consume any of our feed unless we have to. And it seems we're managing the pace quite fine, so that's good news. Just 2 kilometres to go. Valverde takes 5 points. I think there's only 1 guy above. Yep, that's Uran. As you can see, Valverde's got a massive lead now on the peloton. It was only a minute and a half coming up this climb, but he's managed to really check out at the front. It's good to see we've got over that climb without using any of our feed. Good news there. So we'll get a reprieve, and then it'll be the big time of the day. The first class climb coming up, as you can see. There's an 8-second bonus for the guy who gets over there first, 5 seconds for the guy who gets over there second, and I think it's 2 seconds for the guy who gets over there third. Rightio then, 5 kilometres away from the big one of the day. As you can see, Valverde is the leader, but only a minute away. So what we're going to do, we've got good energy with Bernal and Geraint Thomas. We're going to get Geraint to follow attacks, and we're going to put an attack in with Geraint Thomas. But before we do that, let's consume some of our feed with Mikhail Kwiatkowski. And Chris Froome and Dennis. Just to make sure we don't lose ground. It'd be a real shame to lose any ground on the peloton inside this climb. Use half it with Froome and with Dennis as well. But we're going to launch that attack with Bernal and Thomas. We know that those 2 are the best climbers. We saw that in the last stage. Right, let's get on with this. So Geraint's fairly well placed. Just needs to make up a little bit more ground, and then we can make an attack. We've told Bernal to follow attacks. Come on. Oh, we're not well placed. Out the way. So tricky to find a way through. Right, here we go. I'm going to tell Bernal to attack because he didn't get the hint last time. Just a little attack. This is good. Peloton's going to have to ride hard. A lot of guys will blow up at the top. Don't think Bernal's getting the message, but I have to say he's doing well, is Geraint. So we'll get some of that blue gel down us. Some of that red gel as well. Just keeping an eye on everyone behind. Ooh, okay. Hopefully they should be alright. Bernal's not going to attack, so we'll just get him to persist without limit. Sure, a minimum tempo, I think, would be absolutely fine. But if anybody goes away from the peloton, we'll keep an eye on them straight away. But a good chance to get a few seconds with Geraint Thomas here. I mean, even 8 seconds, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? It's well worth using some of our feed to try and get that. Remember, there's an 8-second boost for the guy who gets over the top of the climb first.
We're professional leaders. Come on, keep at it.
Yeah, heard it. There are the guys. And I think we can get over this climb at the top without too much of a real risk. Come on, Thomas. Just these 2 to beat now. They're going to struggle because they've gone all the way up here by themselves. Come on, Geraint. This would be really worth it if you can get the 8 seconds. Nobody else is going to catch up at this point. Oh, they're going to go for it. They're going to go for it. Let's hope they blow up before we do. No, not quite. Ah, it's a shame. But every second counts. We get 2 seconds there. Ah, it's a shame. It's a bit of a shame, that is. But 2 seconds is better than nothing. To be fair, those two did very well over that climb. Right. Time for a bit of TLC now. Consume some of the feed we've been out. To be fair, we've done pretty well not to use all of our feed on that climb. Bernal's okay. Carapaz and Kwiatkowski definitely need a bit of TLC. But we've done well. I'm pretty pleased with that. Apparently Chris Froome has been dropped. So we'll just get on him very quickly. Carapaz. Dennis needs a bit as well. It's all about management of all your riders, of course. Every little helps in these sort of stages. Oh, we've gone into the wall there. That wasn't the best thing to do, was it? Just consume most of that feed now of Kwiatkowski. Remember, it's just a third-class climb to come up after this. So nothing completely exerting. But this is a good lead Geraint Thomas has got. I know we just consumed some of our feed, but we'll just gain him a little bit of time with Chris Froome. I think everything should level out probably as we come down here. But this is good with Geraint Thomas. Bernal and Pinot in that group. As you can see, the yellow jersey about a minute behind. And Geraint Thomas is going to take the yellow jersey as it stands. We enter the final 10 kilometres with Geraint Thomas.
1 minute 30 on the favourites.
We're going to struggle to retain our lead on this group of 9, which includes all the big names, really. Roglic, Fuglsang, Bernal, Pinot, Carapaz as well. It's going to be interesting. Ultimately, Geraint Thomas is going to struggle to go it alone. He might as well have some help from those guys. And let's see if he can get over the top of the climb first. We did well in the last stage, to be honest, to launch attacks. We were quite clever about it. As you can see, we've got a good amount of feed left. So that should come into help us. Just 2 guys in front there, no concern for the general classification, but every little will help here. As you can see, this group very small. There's a few starting to catch up. Granted, there is a peloton that's just behind, but I don't think those guys will be able to catch up. If we can try to really push as we start the climb, hopefully we should be able to leave the likes of Fuglsang and Roglic behind. But 3 of our guys in this group, Thomas, Carapaz, Bernal. Geraint Thomas, obviously our main man, that's why we're on board with him. It's a fairly quick climb though, this is, so if we're going to launch an attack we need to do it very quickly. So, 5 kilometres left for Valverde at the front of the race. Remember, we got that little boost with Geraint Thomas of 2 seconds before. Every little helps, but if we beat Roglic by about 40 seconds, we will take that yellow jersey. This is going to be a very important 5 kilometres for the Tour de France. So the peloton's caught up at this point. Going to go for it, I think, with Geraint here. Just to get everyone to ride a little bit harder. Again, little attacks, that's all we need. Just check on everyone behind. Kwiatkowski is also caught up, that's great news. Just Castro Vieja that's out of it at the moment. Again, we'll just keep getting the peloton to ride hard. It's not the toughest of climbs here, but hopefully some of those will burn out before the end. As you can see though, we're doing pretty well at the moment. We'll consume some of our blue feed. Keep a little bit in reserve. As you can see there, second and first place. All the guys in the peloton starting to come up now. Don't want to burn out here. Right, hang on, hang on. Whoa, 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 hang on, hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. That has not worked. Oh, Christ. Come on! Oh, you are kidding me. No! How did that happen? Oh, man. Where's everybody else? Where are the big guns? Oh, no, they're there. They're there. Right, okay. We can't rely on Geraint anymore. That is bloody frustrating. Oh! I mean, look at this. I don't know how it ended so quickly. I mean, it was 5 kilometres. Well, come on, Bernal. Oh, that just didn't work at all, did it? I can't believe we've got a feed left. That's just painful. That's painful. Fuglsang is starting to drop off. Right, okay. Over the line. Bernal wins the stage. Kwiatkowski gets second, but, I mean, Fuglsang has gained time. Geraint Thomas, let's control him. Don't know how Roglic is. Not sure. He's finished, so they gain a little bit of time on us. That's infuriating, but we're going to have to try and get as much time as we can with Geraint Thomas coming up here. That's frustrating. That was a real chance. Top 2 of the stage, which is great news, but I don't know what happened with Geraint there at all. The peloton caught up and things just started to go mad. So not the best stage for us there. We lost a little bit of time. We'll retain second in the standings, but we've lost a little bit of time to Roglic, which is frustrating. But a stage win for Bernal, a second consecutive stage win. Kwiatkowski back up there, which is great to see. A few points, obviously, for him in the climb. But a top 2 in that stage. We've got to be happy with that. It's just annoying that we failed to sleep with Geraint Thomas. But that 5 kilometres went so quickly. We were doing okay, and all of a sudden, right, it was the last kilometre. That seemed to go so quickly. But nevertheless, we did okay there. Lost a little bit of time to Roglic. I feel like we could have... I mean, maybe that attack was ill-advised, potentially. But Bernal wins the stage. It's not all about Geraint Thomas. Bernal does very well to win the stage there. Brilliant stuff. Stage victory for Egan Bernal. Yellow jersey, no surprise still with Roglic. We'll see what the gap is. It might well be over a minute now, so that's going to be a little bit frustrating. Ooh, points classifications. Kwiatkowski got it back? He certainly has. Great news. He also leads the best climber and young rider classification is Evenepoel. Let's have a look at what the standings are then after this stage, because Kwiatkowski takes the green jersey back.
Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We were the pre-race favourites, and you lived up to the role with brio. Well done for this win. We take the green jersey. It's a good day.
Oh, I don't think it is such a good day. I don't think so. I mean, the only positive, I guess, that Roglic and Fuglsang could have really exerted themselves there. Not sure. But 1 minute and 7 for Thomas beyond Roglic. 35 seconds behind Fuglsang. I mean, we did get that little time boost. We should have been more awake, though, there. But great stuff for Bernal and Kwiatkowski, the top 2 in that stage. 6 riders inside the top 13. That is something to be commended, definitely. Just a shame that our lead rider couldn't keep up with Roglic and Fuglsang there. Best climber classification, Bernal takes 14 points, Kwiatkowski just a single point. Points classification, 17 for Kwiatkowski, 20 for Bernal. That's why Kwiatkowski takes the lead back of that classification. No points for Peter Sagan in that stage. Good stuff that Bernal took young rider classification for that stage. Team classification we lead as well, and compatibility classification we're not really bothered about that. So, in the standings as a whole, yeah. It's frustrating. Roglic extends his lead. We were only 40 seconds behind him. Now we're 1 minute and 46 behind. Still plenty of time to go, though. Still another mountain stage. Still another chance for Geraint Thomas. It's going to be tough, though, now. Definitely is going to be tough after that stage. But we do lead in the other 2 big jerseys. Best climber classification. Bernal actually gets himself up to 3rd. Geraint Thomas into 4th. Brilliant. Chris Froome makes it 4 of our guys in the top 10. Excellent. I think that Kwiatkowski has got that wrapped up now. I think because is there only 1 mountain stage or 2 mountain stages left? I think at some point that's going to become mathematically impossible for anybody else to win. Points classification, Sagan didn't score any points there, and because of that final climb, Kwiatkowski took some well-earned points, so he leads that classification. Young riders, Bernal 2nd. Team classification, we lead by over an hour now, and compatibility, Kwiatkowski still leads there. So we take a leader's jersey. We won the stage with Bernal, and we retain the lead of the mountains classification. So we get a recovery bonus of 2 for both of those guys. But we did okay there, I guess. I mean, we've recovered fairly well, but tomorrow it's another tough stage.
It'll be a very demanding day for everyone. Several mountain passes and a summit finish await you. This is a key stage for the general classification. You will have to be there on the final climb if we are to do well. I'm not too worried. I think we're able to win the stage, outdistancing the other favorites. Have a good day, guys. Come on, we're aiming for victory.
Okay, stage number 17 coming up tomorrow. We've got to be there over that final climb. That is huge. Got to get our strategy right for that final climb, because it'll be massive. As you can see, after that stage, just the one mountain stage, that's going to be particularly tough. These next two stages, I think, will decide the destination of that yellow jersey. It looks like it's going to be Roglic, but as you've just seen there, things can twist and turn very, very quickly. If we get the right if we can get the right side of these last two stages, who knows? We could take the top two with Geraint Thomas and Kwiatkowski, or we could be 3rd, 4th, 5th with our best rider. These two stages are going to be massive. As you can see, we've got this one and the next, and then we've got a flat stage, time trials, and then the final stage. Well, it's going to get very interesting now. Very, very interesting. So stay tucked in, fasten your seatbelts for the final 5 stages. The next stage, though, stage number 17, will be coming on the channel tomorrow. Thank you very much for your company. If you enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below, comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for daily Tour de France 2020 content. But until tomorrow, thank you for watching. I always appreciate you guys staying for the duration of the video. But until tomorrow, I will see you guys later. Goodbye for now.